That's not Christ. Christ is love, and if I love you, I'm going to give in to your need regardless of whatever, because I understand that there's something that you need from me and there's something I need from you. I'm not going to beat you up over the head and make you do anything. This is not caveman ministry. You know, where the caveman go find him a woman and bust her upside the head, boop, and then go drag her back to his cave and make her do what he want her to do. This is not Geico ministry. It's not so easy that a caveman can do it. No, it's not. It takes love to submit. Caveman can't submit. It takes love, y'all. It takes love. And so what I want you to understand is that submission is us giving in to one another's needs. And what we have to get here is that we have to understand that there are privileges that correspond with submission. Write these privileges down. What is lost in the subject of submission are the privileges that corresponds with the discipline. The first thing we must understand, the first privilege is, it's a privilege to not always need to get my way. It's a privilege for you to not always feel like you have to have your own way. How many of you know that anytime you get your own way all the time is dangerous? It's dangerous for you to always get your way. And if you don't know that, maybe this scenario will help you with this. Let's say, for instance, that you're headed north on whatever thoroughfare you take on a day-to-day basis. I don't know. But I use Highway 10. I use Highway 10 every day, headed to work. And I'm headed north on 10. And at about 300 feet out, I notice I got a green light. And since I got a green light, what does that mean? I got the right of way, baby. I got every right to enter that intersection because the green light tells me I got the right to be there. But let's say that you notice that from your left, headed west towards the same intersection, a Mack truck is coming. And that Mack truck is coming at a high rate of speed. And since it's coming at a high rate of speed, you realize that that Mack truck ain't stopping. You got a green light, which means that you got the right of way. And if they're headed west towards the same intersection, they got to have a red light. Yeah. But you got the right of way. You got every right to be in that intersection. You got every right to cross through that intersection. But this Mack truck is coming at a high rate of speed. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster. Should I enter that intersection because I got the right to be there? Or should I just yield the right of way? Save my life and my passengers' lives and go on about my business. See, if you don't understand this, that it's not important for you to always get your way. Understand that sometimes if you get your way, you can end up dead. Sometimes if you get your way, you can end up in a dangerous situation. So it's not always important for you to get your way. How many times, what people have to understand is how many times have we gotten our way or have we fallen out with somebody because we didn't get our way, and when we look back over it, the issue was a trivial issue in the first place. Well, man, that was real trivial, you know. Man, just because, you know, we didn't go to Jack in the Box at the churches. Now we arguing and fighting and can't get along over silly stuff. Man, let's just go get it. Let's get a two-piece, man. I don't have to have a jumbo jack today. I can make it just off a two-piece. Look over your life and recognize how many times have things just failed in your life, relationships, whatever, over trivial stuff, because you didn't want to give in to somebody else. I ain't giving in. Tug of war spirit. You're going to pull back and forth, I ain't giving in 1 inch. I'm going to fight it with every fiber of my being. Why? Why? You ain't got to get your way all the time. Why you just said, you know what, I got the right of way. I don't care if this Mack Mack truck is bigger than me. I don't care if he's faster. I don't care if I lose my life. I'm going to enter that intersection. Like a fool, you're going to be dead too. So I want you to understand that there's a privilege in not carrying the burden of always having to get my way all the time. I can't hang out with you because you don't let me do what I want to do. Why we don't never get to go where I want to go? Why we don't never do the things I want to do? Why? Understand that it's not always about you getting your way, that sometimes you just got to give in because maybe they know something that you don't know about this place. Maybe they know something that you don't understand, and you've got to get this and understand that there's such a burden on always having to have your way. Tell somebody, I ain't got to get my way no more. I ain't got to. So now I ain't saying nothing. I ain't got to get my way no more. I'm calm for God. Amen. The second privilege is we must understand that it's a privilege for us to honor God before people when we submit. Go to 1 Peter real quick. 1 Peter, the 2nd chapter, verses 13 through 15. It's a privilege to honor God before people when I submit. 1 Peter 2, 13 through 15. Verse 13 says, you got it? It says, submit yourselves for the Lord's sake to every human institution, whether to a king as the one in authority or to governors as sent by him for punishment of evildoers and the praise of those who do right. Verse 15, for such is the will of God, that by doing right you may silence the ignorance of foolish men. When I submit, when I do right, when I submit to my boss at work, I'm sending a message to everybody at work that he really is who he says he is. But the problem, the reason why a lot of people have problems with believers today is because we doing the same thing they doing. We standing at the cooler talking about, man, I know I'm 5 minutes over on my break. I ain't going back yet. I'm tired. I thought he was saved. Oh, man, I ain't got to do nothing. And so they look at us and they see just as much rebellion in the believer as they got. And so they like, man, why should I even think about going to church? That joker just as disobedient and honoring and stiff-necked as I am. He can't teach me nothing. She can't teach me nothing. Just as hard-headed, just as crazy, say anything, ain't obedient, talk back to the ball, throw stuff, paper clips, tearing up files and acting a fool just like me. They're turning over pallets, racing on the job with forklift. You been doing that, man. Stop that, bro. You can't do that stuff. That's no fun. Just as crazy as me. Because I used to do that stuff. I'm telling you, myself about that. I had to realize that, man. I couldn't do what other people were doing. Man, I was just having fun. I didn't know no better. You know, you remember them electric pallet jacks that man, I used to race them things. They had a throttle. Man, me and the fellas, man, we used to have pallets on the back. And I just used to punch it. And they used to sound like that. Doing all that kind of mess. And the manager come out, now stop acting like I ain't done nothing. Act like I was working. You just rebellious, disobedient, and no submission in you, Reko, as anybody. I'm talking to me now. I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to me. I'm preaching. See, I learned that if I preach on me, then don't nobody get mad. Because when it comes down to preaching on me, I can preach on myself, and I ain't going to say no. I'm just going to take it. Because there's a lot to preach on me about. Amen. 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 But anyway, when we do right before people and we honor authority before people, God is glorified. But what we have to understand is that we must show submissive behavior before people, because when we show submissive behavior in the public's eye, Jesus is glorified. People think that this dude right here for real, you know. He just does whatever. Now, don't do something that's going to be